I have a list of 300 video games that my friend Jesse ranked in order from least favorite to his favorite. I'm going to go through this list and see how many of these games I have played. 5 points if I've completed the game, 3 points if I've at least played the game, 1 point if I've heard of the game, or 0 points if I've not heard of the game at all. Let's check this out. 300? What's number 300? Sim Ant, the electronic ant. Nope, I've not heard of this. That's 0 points so far. 0 points. Singing Monsters, 0 points. Pong doubles. I didn't know there was a doubles version of Pong, so that's 0 points. I just thought it was Pong. Here we go, finally. Okay, let's pause the video. GoldenEye 007 on the Nintendo 64, right? Wow, that's his least favorite N64 game. Insane. I've not played it, but I've heard of it, so 1 point for me. I'm not even gonna try and decipher that. PS4, never heard of it. Clay Fighters, I've heard of this. 30 out of 31 for Super Nintendo is crazy. Okay, so another point for me. Desert Strike, Return to the Gulf. Deadly Tower, what is this? Nintendo. So I'm guessing the NES. There we go. Duck Hunt. I've played it, so it's 3 points. I don't think I've ever like beaten it or whatever, but I have played Duck Hunt. Chris Tales on the Switch. This is a Switch game? Never heard of it. I like that he's doing his favorite songs too, so you guys can look at. Oh, here we go. Another one. Secret of Mana. I've heard. I've never played. Primal Rage. Yeah, definitely, guys, feel free to look up these songs to see if you guys are vibing with any of them. Zombies Ate My Nightmares. Also, in terms of the genre and release here, these are all very cool. Very cool stats to do. The Seventh Saga. Still just doing games I've never played. NES or Super NES games are just ones that I'm not going to be able. Warcraft has a third game? I know of Warcraft, but I've never heard of the third one. Okay. No idea. Hey, Earthworm Jim. I knew this was a game. I mean, you know, if you're looking up Sega information, you're going to come across this game, and I've never played it. I've heard of it, though, so that's another 1 pointer. Ice Hockey. All right. Mortal Kombat. All right. I've heard of it, of course. I've never played the original, actually. So, yeah, C-. Understandable. Tetris. So many versions of Tetris. I don't know if I've actually ever played the NES version of Tetris. I'm going to be completely honest. I'll give myself the 3 points. It's my video, my rules. It might not be this exact version of Tetris I've played, either the Game Boy Tetris or maybe a different kind of Tetris, maybe the Game Boy Color version. I'm not entirely sure. I don't think I've ever played the NES version, but I've played so many different kinds of Tetris that I'm throwing it on here. Master of Monsters, though. That is one I've never heard of. Duke Nukem. 64? I've heard of Duke Nukem, but there's a 64 game? The Oregon Trail on the PC. 93. Dude, 90s PC games, I would not be able to get them. StarCraft 2. Again, I only know of the original. I didn't know StarCraft had sequels. Golf Troop. I feel like Jesse's mentioned this to me before. Never knew that was like a SNES game or whatever. Dynasty Wars. Again, these are like series that I've like relatively heard of. Didn't know this game existed, I'll be honest. I know a lot of Castlevania games. I haven't played a lot of them. There we go. Okay, one I've heard of. Jesse's told me about this one before. The Lion King platformer game on the Super Nintendo. I think I played Aladdin, but not Lion King. Resident Evil 3. I've heard of it. And I've heard of Asteroids, right? Yeah, I've heard of Asteroids. I don't remember if it's the exact game I'm thinking of, but I have heard of it. Sonic. Oh, there's one I played. Finally, it's another 3 pointers. I played an iPad version of Sonic the Hedgehog and I finished it. I beat it. I don't remember if I got all 7. Actually, I think I got all 7 KS Emeralds from Sonic 1. Never beat Sonic 2. So I'll give myself 5 points for this one. Guns the Door. Nope. This one I've never heard of before. Ancient Planet Tower Defense. Hey, DK64. I've heard of it. Unfortunately, I've never actually played it. So Pokemon TCG. I did know that this was a game. So this is a 1 pointer for me, though I've never played that game before. Never heard of Omashura 2. Hey, one that I beat. Let's go. All right, Mario 64, 265. That is low, but I know Jesse's not a big Mario fan. I beat this game 120 stars, so that's a 5 pointer for me. Played it many times to find the magic, but just all right to me, honestly. This killed Super Mario games. I've never played another newer one. Oh, wow, this killed Mario games. Dang. That's unfortunate. He ranks Mighty number 9 above it. No. Oh, that's one I got to disagree with. Hang on. We got to go back. Okay, I played this game, so that's 3 points. I actually bought the Wii U version of this game when it came out. No, I would rank this so far below Mario 64. Like, yeah, it's a new Mega Man game. It's rushed production and it's unfinished. The first level, it was a nice concept, but it just, I couldn't get hooked onto it. I'm sorry. I just couldn't. The graphics were brutal. It just took me out of the entire game. It was boring to me. I'm sorry. Dang, one above Mario 64 is crazy. I've heard of this one. Believe it or not, I have. Thanks, Scott the Waz, for that one. Blitz the League. I have heard of this because of Chiz Plays. These YouTubers are helping me out with this one. This one's I've heard of. Again, I've never played, but I've heard of, so that's another point. I didn't know this was a SmackDown game, actually. Okay. Excite Bike on the NES. It's one I've played. I mean, through various compilations. I've never played like the NES game, but I played it, so that's 3 points for me. Crash Bandicoot. I've actually never played. I have the Insane Trilogy, but I've never played it, believe it or not. It's still 1 point for me. Tales of Symphonia. I think this is one Jesse might have mentioned. It's on the GameCube. There's only 2 GameCube games on this list. Oh, what's the other one? Probably Melee, I would guess is the other one. PlayStation. Never played it. Here we go. One I've heard of. Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest. I don't remember if I've ever played this game. I don't think so. Final Fantasy 15. I've heard of it. I've never played it. Real Fishing. That's one I've never played. Absolutely not. Mummy Tomb of the Pharaoh. These are throwbacks. Like these are back in the night, way back in the 90s. All right. Metroid Prime Remaster. Oh, this is the one on the Switch. Okay, that makes sense. I've heard of it. Never played it. Oh, he's got an Xbox 360 game on here. Okay, not too bad. Final Fantasy 3, and he's going the DS version. All right, understandable. Never played it. Ace Combat 2. Have I heard of this game? Oh, I'm going to say no. I don't think I've heard of this one. This one I absolutely have not heard of. Jade Cocoon 2. Hey, Fruit Ninja. Oh, he threw the mobile game on here too. Okay, I played this one. Record of Agarist War. Xbox 360. Nightmare on Elm Street. I know that's a movie. I didn't think that was a video game on the NES. Hey, Crystal Chronicles. Oh, Switch version. I thought there was a GameCube version too. Yeah, I've heard of it. Never played it. Star Fox. I've played Star Fox once. I played through the first level because you had to play through the first level of Star Fox on the SNES Classic Edition to unlock Star Fox 2, because that's when they actually released Star Fox 2 for the first time. Shin Megami Tensei 4 or Tensei 4, never played that one. I've heard of it. Mortal Kombat 2, I've not played. Also another point. I've played it. I've never actually beat Super Mario Brothers 2, believe it or not. Sonic 2 I played, so that's 3 points for the last 2 games. Sonic 2 right above Mario 2 is evil though. Speaking of evil, Resident Evil. Wow, here we go. I've heard of it. That's 1 point. Never played it though. Super Famicom. Oh, just one Super Famicom game. Okay. Evo Search for Eden. Never heard of it. Never heard of Harmony of Dissonance. I only know like the mainline Castlevania game. Lufia 2. Tales of the Abyss is next. PlayStation 2. I apologize, Jesse, for skipping all your commentaries, but Tony Hawk Pro Skater, I've heard of. I've never played. Dragon Age Origins. The only Dragon Age game I know is Inquisition, because that won like 2014 Game of the Year. Hey, Smash 64. Yo, that's a hilarious looking Kirby model. Yeah, so if the OG Smash Bros is on here, Melee is going to be on here, and all the other ones I would assume. Countless hours played as a kid as Link, Kirby, and Samus, and then nothing could have been better than it did with every sequel. This game isn't worth playing anymore. Unfortunately not. So that's 5 points for Smash Bros 64. Never played Extreme G. Battle Strategy. Mobile. It came out in 2023. So there's 5 games from 2023. That's crazy. Slay the Spire. Oh, I have a cousin that's been, not Jesse, but I have another cousin that has been playing the heck out of this game. Turok 2, I've heard of. So that's a 1 point for me as well. Urges. Never heard of it. There we go. F-Zero. Oh, Jesse and I are great at F-Zero. 13 racing games. Oh, hopefully Mario Kart or a Mario Kart game is on here. I'm begging. I wonder if there'll be any more F-Zero games on here. Lords of Shadow. Again, never heard of him. Hey, Smash Bros. All right, let's see what he says. Weakest in terms of being a fighter of all the games, I least am likely to enjoy playing the multiplayer. It just feels off. Subspace Emissary is the best one-player mode in Smash history, and I have to agree. 1 pointer, I have not played Crash 2, but I've heard of it, of course, obviously. Enter the Matrix. Did not know the Matrix was turned into a video game. Final Fantasy 13 is next. Again, I've heard of it, never played it. Demon's Crest. That looks creepy. What's this guy's name? Firebrand. Hey, there we go. Again, I played this, I think, on like the 3DS and then the Switch, but not on the NES, but still, Mega Man. I just love the series. Mega Man is great. 5, because I beat all the classics, 1 through 11. Final Fantasy 6. Oh, just one above it. Woo! Call of Duty Black Ops. I've heard of the last 2, of course. I've heard of Final Fantasy 6, and I've heard of Call of Duty Black Ops. I've never played. Hold on. I actually have played Shield for 5 minutes. Oh man, that's so funny. I actually have. This was the first ever Pokemon game I actually bought for myself, Pokemon Shield, and I played about 5 minutes, got the score bunny, went through the trainer battle, and then I just shut the game off and I never played it again. I get the points regardless. I've never played Final Fantasy Tactics Advance, but all right, not too bad. Tales of Xillia. What is this? PlayStation 3? Never heard of it. Black and White and 2. Okay, yeah. I've heard of Black and White. I've heard of Maple Story too. Oh yeah, it's like this farm sim type thing, if I remember correctly. Forza Motorsport 4, I've heard of. Devil May Cry. Okay, the original. Borderlands 2. Yes, I have. Fire Emblem Engage. Okay, this is 2023. Only 2 more 2023 games after this one. I have beaten Tropical Freeze. unfortunate that it's down this low. This would be up in the top 30 for me, I would say. Maybe not 30, but top 50 maybe. I don't know. Wonderful Return had a lot of energy, but lost some of the early apprentices atmosphere along the way. Perfect intro game as it's the easiest. That's understandable. Okay, so that's why you put it low, because it's easy. Yeah, that makes sense. C games. Guitar Hero 2, I've heard of course. Halo, I've heard of. Never played the OG Halo. All right, 199. Star Wars Episode 1 Racer. Never heard of that one, actually. Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Of course, I've heard of it. Puzzle game masked as a boxing game. Yeah, I know. Someone, I think, tried to roast Jesse in my comment section saying that he thought it was a puzzle game. But yeah, I mean, I don't blame him. You can't just play this game mashing buttons, but you must observe patterns, discover weaknesses, and use proper timing to advance. I appreciate this game for giving Smash Bros. Some Little Mac love as well. I've heard of it and I played it. So a 3. I'll take it. Fable Lost Chapters. The OG Fable, right? Yeah, I've heard of it. Of course. Who hasn't heard of Assassin's Creed at this point? Zelda 2, I've played through, of course, compilations. So it's 3 points. Spyro. Oh, I played a Spyro game. I don't remember which one. I don't think it was the OG though. So Soul Calibur 2, I've heard of. Would love to get it on the GameCube. That would be cool to fight as Link. The City of Final Fantasy, I've heard of because of Theater Rhythm. I've never played that game though. Or this one, Final Fantasy X-2. Again, thank you to Theater Rhythm. Sonic Spinball, I feel like I've heard of this, but I cannot confirm, so I'm gonna give myself 0 points for that. Twisted Metal 2, I've heard of Twisted Metal. I didn't realize they had a sequel called Twisted Metal 2. Tenchu, I believe I've heard because of Jesse. I'm pretty sure Jesse had told me something about Tenchu. And then Mythic Quest, of course, I've heard of as well, so that's a point there. Alien Isolation, I have not. Tekken Tag, there's a tag tournament for Tekken? Okay, I've heard of the original Devil May Cry. I've not heard of the DMC one, so this, I'll just counter out. Chocobo GP, of course. His 5th 2022 game. Crazy. Angry Birds, of course. I've not played I played one. I played one race of Chocobo GP. One race. Oh, we're getting through. Okay, I gotta pause. I played one race of Chocobo GP. I played a little bit of Angry Birds, of course. I've never beaten either, so that's 3 points each. Melee, I'd say I beat. I unlocked all the characters and I did all the events. I think that counts as beating it. So that's 5 points for Melee. What does he say here? Menu 1 is his favorite. Understandable. I was right. The first out of only 2 GameCube games. GameCube needs more love, man. Melee is the game that made me fall in love with the controller of a system that I never owned. Today, I prefer to spectate Melee more than play it, but its fast-paced, alibi, buggy nature certainly made for some entertaining gameplay back then. I have to agree. It's more fun to watch than to play, but, you know, it is always a game in everybody's hearts. Again, I didn't know Twisted Metal had sequels. I'm sorry. Assassin's Creed 2, of course. I've never heard of Frankenstein or Through the Eyes. Nope, never. Or Rock and Roll Racing. Didn't know this was a thing. Darkstone, 0 points. Oh, this 0 point streak continues. Pokemon Go. I've never played. Believe it or not. Mario Land. I've beaten, so 5 points. Age of Empires 3, of course, I've heard of it. Ships Challenge. That I've never heard of. Dragon Seeds. B+, huh? Never heard of it. Ace Combat 3. Again, I'm pretty sure I've only heard of the first Ace Combat. I didn't know there were sequels to it. Tenchu Final Shadows. I heard of the OG Tenchu from Jesse, but I didn't know there was a Fatal Shadows game. Okay, cool. NHL Hits 2003. I didn't realize Jesse was playing hockey games back in the day. Okay. Mega Man Legends. I didn't know this game existed. I still need to get the Legacy Collection. New Pokemon Snap, I've heard of. Never played. DKC 2, I have actually never played. Believe it or not. I'm sorry. I don't know what you want from me. I've never played DKC 2. I've only played DKC 3 and like the first world of the original Donkey Kong Country, but I've never played DKC 2. Pokemon Stadium. I have. I played this recently with T-Main on N64 online and I got my butt kicked because I didn't know anything about Pokemon. Dead Island, I've heard of. 1 point. Mortal Kombat 2011. I didn't know they made a 2011 remake. Medieval 2, 0 points. No idea what this is. Labyrinth of Refrain. This is a Switch game? 2018? What is an LRPG? Not even gonna bother. Halo 3. Yeah, I've heard of it, of course. Never played a Halo game in my life, so I'll take 1 point. Castlevania Circle of the Moon. Another GBA game that I just have never heard of. The OG Fire Emblem. Of course, I've heard of it. 1 point. I've never played it. Hot Shots Golf, huh? I feel like I've heard of it, but I'm gonna give myself 0 points. All right, 155, nearly at the even, like halfway point. Man, I'm sorry, Jesse. You got to put the star theme there. I prefer the star theme over the overworld theme. I'm just saying, that's me for favorite song. His favorite game of 1985, 15 out of 28 for platformers, and his 8th favorite NES game. Absolute classic that stood the test of time and made nearly every game on this list possible. The impact this game has cannot be understood, but also the fun this game does provides almost 40 years after this release is still incredible. It's one of the most fun games to just speed run. It still feels great. So shout out to Jesse putting this in the top, almost in the top half of the list. Triangle Strategy. I've heard of this one. Of course, I've never played it. Wow, Final Fantasy 2. He goes with the PSP version. Have not heard of this one. This is a 2023 game. Nayuta I feel like Jesse would have told me he'd played this game before. I've never heard of it. Castlevania, the OG on the 64. Is this like a 3D remake? I mean, I've heard of Castlevania. I'm just going to give myself the point. Why not? For the top half, Lord of the Rings, another movie video game. I've heard of the movie, not the game. I'm sorry. 0 points. NFL Blitz. Yes, I think 0 points. Rock Band, of course, I've heard. Xbox 360. I mean, come on. The favorite character is the drums. That's great. You can play as Spider-Man and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. What? Or Pro Skater 2? That's crazy. All right, that's a point because I know the game. Again, another point, never played. Pokemon Ultra Sun or Ultra Moon. King's Field 3, I've never played or heard of. PlayStation. Castlevania Aria of Sorrow. Final Fantasy, no. Or no, I have. What am I talking about? Of course I've heard of Final Fantasy. Oh my lord. Kingdom Hearts 2, yes, I've heard of. I've never played any of the Kingdom Hearts game. I've watched my roommate play 3. Oh, I love this game. Mega Man 2, only at 141. Oh, Jesse, you're doing me dirty. His 6th favorite NES game. All right, not too bad. 14, so right about the top half in terms of platformers. The most beloved of the NES hexology for a lot of good reasons. Yep, but Metal Man's kind of ability kind of breaks the game. I'm a fan of Wily Castle Part 1, of course. Sonic 3, of course, we all know the thing. Sonic 3 and then Sonic and Knuckles is 2 different games, but then like they're in one. So, all right, anyways, 5 points for Mega Man 2. I have not played Sonic 3 actually. So 1 point. Bravely Default. Yes, I've heard of. Contra, I've heard of. I've played. So 3 points. I'll give it to me. It's a cheap 3 points, but I'll take it. Chrono Cross, I've heard of. Banner of the Maid. All right. Never heard of it. Dark Cloud. Another movie game, Lord of the Rings. I mean, I guess I should have seen that. Is Fellowship of the Ring going to show up here at some point too? Halo 2 I've heard of course, so 1 point. Oh, I've heard of this. Budokai Tenkaichi 2. Yes. My roommate got the GameCube version, I believe. It was either 2 or 3 on the GameCube. So yes, I've heard of that one. Black Ops 2, I've heard of course. And Pokemon Stadium 2. So lots of 1 points in a row being strung together. We take those. Oh, yes. I played the demo. I hope that counts. That's 3 points. Curtain Call. Slight upgrade over the original Theater Rhythm. The spelling is crazy. I played with the stylus, which made the swiping very satisfying. I take credit in introducing Jesse to the Theater Rhythm series. He told me straight up that I introduced this series to him. I will take credit. And Rams is his favorite. I didn't realize Rams was in this game, so good to know. I hope Jesse puts Final Bar Line on here. Didn't know Final Fantasy Adventure was actually a game, so that's 0 points. I thought we did Ace Combat 4. Right? Or did we do Ace Combat 3? I don't even know. Angry Birds 2. I don't think I've actually ever played Angry Birds 2, but the fact that it's in number 125 is crazy. Blue Dragon 124. Age of Mythology, I don't think I've heard of. This sounds familiar, but I'm gonna give myself 0 points on it. Of course, Mortal Kombat 3, I've heard of it, never played it though. DKC the OG, of course, 3 points because I played through the first world and that's about it. Twisted Metal 3, I feel like this is popular, but like again, I didn't know there were more Twisted Metal games than the original. I'm sorry. Mega Man 3, oh, this is my favorite of the 6. Mega Man 3. I'm glad he has it up here though. 119, incredible. This is the best. Oh yeah. Oh, so Jesse agrees too. The best classic NES Mega Man game with my favorite Wily fight. The music isn't as good as Mega Man 2, but the level and boss designs were a step up. Also, sliding was a nice addition in Rush made his debut. I know. Oh, sliding. That's okay. Yeah, I remember why I like this. Sliding was great. Sparkman is a great song too. Oh, Mega Man 3. My beloved. Hot Shots Golf Open T on the PSP. Above Mega Man 3? Really? Legend of Dragoon, never heard of it. Fire Emblem Echoes, Shadows. Yes, okay, I've heard of this one, but I've never played a Fire Emblem game in my life. So yeah, have not played the Switch version of Link's Awakening. So 0 point or 1 point because I've heard of it. RE5, I have it downloaded on my Switch, but I have yet to even open it. So I can't say I got the 3 points for playing it. I only got 1 point because I heard of it, but I have it bought and purchased. Pokemon X and Y, who hasn't heard of him? Yo, Mean Bean Machine. Oh, the meme game is here. All right. At 112 is crazy, so that's a point. Another point for FF4 on the SNES. And this was technically FF2 in America. Yeah, the whole thing. I don't even want to get into that. Never played Zero Mission. 1 point, but I've heard of it, of course. Dude, we are racking up the 1-pointers. Final Fantasy 12. There are 7 Ace Combat games? Oh, my lord. That's crazy. Soul Calibur 3. Of course I knew. I've never played Skyrim, guys. I'm sorry. I've never played. I feel like I played Sonic and Knuckles or Sonic 3. I've heard of it. I'm just going to give myself the 1 point. I don't remember if I played Sonic 3 or Sonic and Knuckles. Oh, finally, a game that I beat. 5 points. It's been a while since I needed a 5-pointer. Yoshi's Island. I played the GBA port, but still, I don't know if that's my favorite song. I'll have to go back and check that out. But okay, it's his second favorite 1995 game. I don't know what number 1 is. Oh, number 1 might be Mario RPG if that came out in 1995 too. Their creative director needs a medal. The art style to the gameplay. Yusuke Yoshi as the main character is awesome. Plus, the gameplay is pretty solid. You can skip through levels quickly. Just don't let Mario cry. Yeah, do not let baby Mario cry. Tony Hawk Underground. No, I didn't know there was an Underground. Whoa. The Alien Wars, of course. Who doesn't know? Why Sully be looking like freaking Sylvester Stallone? That's crazy. The OG Castlevania. Okay, I might have to take a point off for the N64 one if I gave myself a point there, but of course I've heard of the NES one. I played it too. 3 points. Jesse watched me play it, and I did not do well. I have not heard of Etrian Odyssey. This is a DS or 3DS game? Probably a 3DS if it's 2013. Tekken 4, of course. Just all the Tekkens, 1 through 8 at this point. Portrait of Ruin, a DS game. Wow. A DS game, Castlevania, was a top 100. All right, I've heard of XCOM 2. I have not played it, though. Apparently, it's really, really good. Valkyria Chronicles, have not heard of. Soul Calibur 6. I think this is one of Jesse's favorite Soul Calibur games. I don't remember if it is his favorite. I guess we'll find out. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I mean, who hasn't heard of it? I've never played it, though. I was too scarred from my 5 minutes of Sword and Shield. Need for Speed Carbon. I've not heard of that one. The City of Final Fantasy Opera. Oh, it's a mobile game? And there's still 2 other mobile games. I wonder what the other 2 mobile games are going to be. Never heard of that one. Champions of Norath. Have also not heard of this one. This is going to be a brutal top 90. Hey, there we go. There's my game. Theater Rhythm Final Bar Line. The one Final Fantasy game we take. It's his favorite 2022 game. For me, I count it as a 2023 game because it came out in February for me. There's 2 other rhythm games after this one. Ooh. If Jesse's ranking 2 other rhythm games after this one, then I'm going to have to check it out. Take Guitar Hero, add in a full course meal of Nobu Uematsu, and vary the modes between battle and adventure and based, and you have an amazing experience. It's the best in Smash series. I just wish they had added What Can I Do For You. I love this game. This game is fantastic. I beat the whole game 5 points. I literally did all 100 feats. It would be a top, 20 for me, I think, personally. But 90, I will take. Kingsfield 2, huh? You go from a game that I absolutely adore to a game I have never heard of in my life. Samus Returns. Okay, I've never played this one, though. I have not played a Metroid game in a hot minute, besides the OG, but that's about it. So, have not heard of Lament of Innocence. Did not know that was a thing, but all right, cool. Modern Warfare 2, of course, who hasn't heard of it? Tenchu 2. Have not heard of Tenchu 2. Triple Triad Advance on the PC. Okay, so there's 4 more PC games we gotta look out for on this list. Let's see. The Getaway. Oh, this is his one crime. Oh, he's calling this a crime game. Okay. Budokai 3. I'm gonna call that 0. I don't think I've heard of that one. I only knew of the Budokai Tenkaichi 2, but not the 3rd one. Medieval. All right, let's see what you guys say about Super Mario World. Underground theme. That's not one of my favorites. I like the athletic theme for this one. I'm losing hope that a Mario Kart game is going to make this list. Anyways, pixel work is beautiful. Soundtrack jives well with it. Combination of flying with the cape and sacrificing Yoshi. Yep, feels like Mario could get anywhere in this game with just a little bit of skill and practice. Yeah, I mean, I beat this game. Secret exits, balloon level, everything. 5 out of 5 or 5 points. Smash 3DS. Oh, he puts them differently. Okay, yeah. I played Smash 3DS. I beat the game. I got all the characters and the DLC, all that. First Smash game that made me take playing interesting. Oh, okay. I think I remember that actually. Well, I wonder what game he has. Oh, probably Smash Wii U. This is number 1 2014 game. I remember the days when Jesse and I would sit on the couch and we'd play Smash 3DS, and that's when I found out this dude was leagues above me, and I thought I was good at the game, and I got really upset that he was so much better than me. So we hardly played Smash 3DS. I've grown and evolved as a person that doesn't rage as much at video games since that point. So Super Mario. Oh, I think he meant Mario Bros 3. Dang, Jesse, how could you do this to my favorite game? Nostalgia game for me with some fun gameplay. The area board game style maps listed. Yep, Mario Unique as a child I played to death. I recently have introduced it. Oh, okay. Super Mario Bros 3. Fantastic. Probably my favorite NES game, or up there with Mega Man 3. I don't know what it is about the 3rd iteration of these games. They get it right. Top tier game. 78, those kind of whack, though. Give it a top 50 nod. Let's go. We finally got a Mario Kart. This has to be the only Mario Kart game on the... Oh, yeah. Koopa Beach. Hey, we agree on something. Koopa Beach is probably my favorite song from Super Mario Kart as well, so shout out. I've recently... I like to use Koopa in this game just because he's so much easier to control. But Donkey Kong Jr., you guys already know he's my boy, so of course he's my favorite character, but he's a very difficult character to play as. This is the only Mario Kart game that I've invested time into, as it has a certain appeal these others have lost. My cousin and I play this whenever he visits, and he is pretty nasty at Mario Kart in general. Check out his YouTube channel, GWallPro. Let's go. We get the shout out. This is your cue to subscribe if you want. I don't necessarily do reaction videos like this too often, but I feel like I had to owe it to my cousin Jesse for doing this. Twisted Metal Black. Oh, this is a racing game? Whoa, I didn't know that. S- tier. We're getting to the goats. Let's go. 6 golden coins. Okay, I respect Big Bird being his favorite. That's funny. Okay. It's his favorite Mario game of all time. Being at 75. Dang. So likely we won't see any more Mario games going forward. I beat Super Mario Kart and I beat Mario Land 2, of course, so 5 points each. I've heard of Soul Calibur 5. I've never played it, or I have not heard the game before. Oh, I beat Cuphead. I beat it. That's a 5-pointer right there. Hopefully the DLC doesn't count. I haven't bought the DLC yet. Should deserve higher than 72 though, I'll be honest. Black Ops 3, never played. I've watched my college roommates play it when it was new. Ape Escape. I've heard of Ape Escape. I'll give myself 1 point. Eternal Sonata, I've heard of it because it has incredible music, but that's about it. RPG Maker, I've never heard of it. I beat Legend of Zelda. through like compilations and all that, I'll give myself the 5 points. Plants vs. Zombies, that's 3 points for me. I played this game on mobile. Second favorite mobile game. That's kind of fire though. I've heard of Soul Calibur before, of course. A good thing about these new Miracle games, I've heard of it, never played it. Ah, I was wrong. There is going to be a Mario game on this list. Mario Land 2 is his favorite Mario platformer, but there's going to be other Mario RPG games. Shout out, Mario RPG is going to be on this list at some point, I would assume. I still need to play this game. I have this game and Mario Golf Advance Tour on my Wii U, but I'm waiting for them to show up on the Switch as Switch Online so I can play them and potentially stream them for you guys. The greatest tennis game ever made. Oh, now I really want to play this at some point. Oh, wow. I got to play this game at some point. I've only heard of it, of course, but I need to play it. And I've heard of this one, so 1 point for me as well. Ruby, of course, the Pokemon games. I've heard of all the Pokemon games, so it's like an auto 1 point, but I've never played any of them. Madden 16. I have played this one with my brother. Massive NFL fan with a deep love for the Giants. Yep. Hot Shots Golf. Never heard of it. Fallout 3. Okay, I heard this was a good one. 1 point for this as well. We're racking up 1-pointers. That's all I need to do is rack up 1-pointers. Borderlands, the OG Borderlands. The game seems fire. Not heard of Curse of Darkness. That seems demonic. Diablo 2. Yes, I've heard of this one. Chessmaster. This one I've never heard of actually, so 0 points here. The Gaia 2 Dual Saga. Oh, this game Jesse was looking for in retro game stores, I believe. The Gaia 2. So I will give myself 1 point for that. RuneScape, of course, I will give myself a point for that. That's his favorite MMORPG. A Link to the Past. Of course, I've heard of it. Top 50, Breath of Fire 3. Never played it. XCOM Enemy Unknown. Okay, so the OG XCOM. I've heard of it. Same thing here. Pokemon Snap. Seems like an adorable concept. Miscellaneous genre. I guess it's understandable. Metroid Fusion. Never played it, but I've heard of it. Also, this one. I've heard of it. Mega Man 8. Of course, I played this one, completing all 11 Mega Man games, the classic ones. I don't remember really anything about this game except not liking it much just because of its art style and the way that it looks. I don't know. I think just the art style really threw me off. Like, I was much more a fan of 7's art style than 8's. I liked what they were doing with it, but you know, it was just too much of a deviation from the other classic Mega Man games. Like, give me just this 8-bit art style, and that's really all I needed. Like, I liked Mega Man 11's art style and 7's, but 8's just really threw me off. I'm sorry. Of course, the OG Ratchet and Clank. Never played it though. 1 point for Metroid Dread. I've never played Metroid Dread. Maybe I'll play it on stream if you guys want to see it. It's his number 1 2021 game. That's kind of fire. All these Tenchu games. I didn't know Tenchu had his whole blown series. That's crazy. Guitar Hero 3, of course. I mean, yo, Tom. Hey, look at Tom being the favorite character. Oh, Jesse won a tournament in Guitar Hero 3? Dang, I'm learning about some secret life that Jesse had. Okay. Kessin, I've never heard of this one. Of course, Resident Evil 4 PS2 version over the GameCube version. Interesting. Spyro Ripto's Rage. I don't know. Again, I remember playing a Spyro game. I don't remember which one. I've never heard of Ripto's Rage before, so I'll give myself 0 points. Modern Warfare 3, of course. There we go. This is probably his number 1 Mario game. He's going with the Switch remake. Okay, we take those. Favorite game of 2023. Understandable. And there's still 11 or 10 other RPGs, JRPGs. Hey, he's got Mallow as his favorite character. Shout out to Mallow. Castlevania Bloodlines. I don't think I've heard of it. Actually, no, I have. Front Mission 4. I feel like I've heard of this, but I'm not even going to worry about it. Oh, I've heard of Clash of Clans. Oh! Wait, how did I not think that Clash was going to be his favorite? I see him play it all the time, or at least I used to. Oh my, it's blatantly after my money with microtransactions. Jesse has like an insane village. I see him play it anytime, like we're just chilling. When he plays a mobile game, this is the one he plays. Plants vs. Zombies being his second favorite, and I hardly ever see him play that one. But this one, yeah, this is like the only mobile game I would see Jesse play. TMNT 4, Turtles in Time. I've heard of this one. I've never played it though. The only one I've played was the GameCube one on the Marker Double-Dash demo disc. And Shredder's Revenge. This one I've never heard of. Hey, RE2. Did he play the remake? Crash 3 I've heard of, so 1 point for the last 2. What is his Ace Combat? I have not played any of these Ace Combat. I've not heard of them. Super Castlevania 4, understandable. Yep. 26, Kingdom Hearts. Sephiroth, of course, his favorite. Top 25, these are the S+ tier games. Blood Omen 2, Legacy of Kain. Have not heard of it. Infinite Warfare. Whoa. Okay, hang on. Floaty, sure. Bare bones game modes agreed. A departure from prior games, of course. An absolute blast to play online and wreak havoc in. 100% yes. Oh, a lot of people are gonna go crazy. At least a lot of Call of Duty fans will, because this has been a lot of people's like not least favorite, but definitely in the bottom half. Like I feel like this one in Cold War and like World War II, I believe, are like in the bottom parts of Call of Duty games. I didn't know there was a UFO defense for XCOM. All right. Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver. I feel like I've heard of a Legacy of Kain game, but probably the original, not that one. Okay, this is one I've heard of. All right, Pokemon Red and Blue, the OG. And there's still 7 more JRPGs to go. The Pokemon are diverse and well designed. I always remember soloing the game with my Rattata. Legendary feat of achievement for my man Jesse over there. Top 20. Pretty crazy. The things nostalgia can do to the body. Wild. Oh, there we go. Fire Emblem 3 Houses. Yeah, Jesse loves this game. Oh, League. How did I not think about this? I played this game nonstop for years, but never got above Gold 1 ranked. Oof. Understandable. Yeah, the grind can always be crazy. Oh, Pokemon Crystal? There's a Crystal version? I did not know that. Yikes. Final Fantasy 5, that's a point. Ocarina of Time. What does he got to say about the greatest Zelda game of all time, according to many? This was the incredible evolution of the Zelda franchise that brought it into the 3D world without much of a hiccup. The expansive yet tight-knit world, coupled with a dystopian future, really was immersive and made the stakes feel real. This just reminds me that Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are not going to be on this list. I hate to break it to y'all. They're not going to be on this list. Jesse is just not a fan of the newer Zelda games. RPG Maker. Okay, another one. Yeah, to make more RPGs. Guitar Hero Metallica. Final Fantasy 8, number 12. Whoa, I would have expected this to be in his top 10. He always calls this his favorite Final Fantasy game. Wait, but we haven't seen 7 yet. I always thought Final Fantasy 8. Jesse had this as his wedding theme. Yeah. I actually need my wedding on this game. That's why I thought it was his favorite, because his wedding was themed after this one, and I was there. This one I have not actually played. I have the Legacy collections. I've never played the original Mega Man X. I'm sorry. Oh, here we go. Smash Ultimate top 10. Number 1 fighting game, number 1 Switch game, and number 1 game from 2018. Smash Bros. Ultimate is the game that I invested most into the competitive scene, participating in more than a dozen tournaments, placing top 8 once. An ambitious compilation with video game history with a balanced but punishing combat system. I love this game. I love playing this game. I love streaming this game. It's a fantastic game. I'm not good at it, so I don't do it often. But I love everything about the game. I love the history and the compilations. I know, it's just all great. 9? Whoa, he puts 9 above 8? I would never have thought. Never. Oh, of course. Why did I not think of Super Metroid? I've never actually played or beat Super Metroid. Symphony of the Night. Yeah, this is probably one of his favorite Castlevania games. I've heard of this one. Front Mission 3. Whoa. Vagrant Story. Oh, now we're getting to the games I've never played. I don't even know what a WRPG is. Okay. Final Fantasy X. Oh, wow, dude. I feel like I'm just getting thrown the biggest curveballs. I always thought for the longest time that 8 was his favorite, but no, 7 is probably going to be in this top 3. And 9 and 10 are in this top 10. 10's in the top 5. 2 out of the top 3 are going to be JRPGs. Craziness. Oh, Chrono Trigger. How could I forget? He's got Chrono Cross on here and all the Mana games, but not Chrono Trigger. This makes sense. I played it initially. I think there was a time where Jesse and I were doing a podcast and I had to play this game as like a punishment or something like that, or I don't know, something along those lines. And I played it, but I didn't beat it. So I'll give myself the 3 points. There it is. Final Fantasy 7. What does he got to say? Opening theme. Is a favorite JRPG. It's his favorite PlayStation game and his favorite 1997 game. 1 point because I never actually played Final Fantasy 7. I feel like it's a great game to get into if I were to ever play a JRPG, but I don't know. I'd probably play the remake at this point. I know that probably hurts Jesse to hear. I'm gonna try and guess. What is his number 1 game? It can't be a Final Fantasy game. Maybe it is. I don't know. It is a Final Fantasy game. I didn't even know this game existed. So that's 0 points for me. We're gonna end it on 0 points, unfortunately. But Final Fantasy Tactics War of the Lions. This is a game I've literally never heard of. It's a straight masterpiece. That is my favorite game. I'm pretty sure he might have mentioned this once to me, but I completely forgot about it. And yeah, I have no idea. Incredible. Final Fantasy. So at least I know him to know that a Final Fantasy game would be there. Hope you guys enjoyed Jesse's video. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. How many points did you get from this challenge? Probably a lot more than I did, but still let me know regardless. With that being said though, hope you enjoyed the video. Stay all pro, and I'm out of here.